Hi, my name is Randall A. Welcome back to the Infertility Channel. Thanks so much for joining us today. Now, today we're going to be talking about one of those touchy topics in reproductive medicine, money-back guarantee, or refund IVF. And I have a question here, a young lady by the name of Dee from Washington, D.C. She says, Dr. Loy, a doctor offered me a money-back guarantee if I didn't get pregnant. Is that for real? How in the world can they guarantee something like that? That's a great question. Well, the whole concept of guaranteed IVF came about probably 20 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, and it was pioneered by Dr. Jeffrey Scher and Dr. Michael Levy, and they had the concept of kind of an insurance policy. What if, they said, the patient paid more up front, typically about 3 times the price of a normal single IVF cycle, and then they had multiple treatments offered. Now, the package price is usually in the range of $20,000 or $25,000, not including medications. And then if the patient does not become pregnant, the patient, depending upon the program, gets back between 70 and 100% of that initial fee. Now, what does that involve? It involves 3 fresh stimulations, in other words, medications, removing the eggs from the ovaries, sperm and egg meeting in the petri dish, and embryo transfer. So 3 of those and up to 3 frozen thawed embryo replacements. What does that mean? It means that if there are surplus embryos from those cycles, in other words, she doesn't get pregnant but she had some leftover embryos, then those embryos can be thawed and placed back into the uterus to possibly yield a pregnancy. Now, we know that most patients in this country do require more than 1 cycle to conceive. In the best of programs, the youngest patients, those who are 34 years of age and younger, have about a 50% pregnancy rate per cycle. So it takes about 1.6, 1.7 cycles or so, depending upon the program. So do these programs work? Absolutely they work. And they're money makers for most REIs. So be mindful of that. It's not a decision to be taken lightly, not that you would, but you need to talk to your financial counselor about this. Because if you're younger and you have surplus embryos, you're likely to get pregnant with that initial fresh plus the frozen thawed cycle. So why do you want to be paying for 6 cycles if you're most likely to get pregnant with 1 or 2 cycles, a fresh plus a frozen thawed? If you're older, you may not qualify for these programs. So there are some exclusions depending upon the program. I do encourage you to talk to your doctor or to actually go online and do some shopping and see in this regard who's out there and what are they offering. So you really can shop this around. So what are the other exclusions? Well, some programs exclude patients who are older or who have a low AMH level. Remember, we've talked about ovarian reserve. So the anti-Mullerian hormone, if it's less than 2 in some clinics, that patient's excluded. Or if she has an elevated body mass index. Some will exclude patients who are a body mass index of 28 or 30. So that's a problem. But talk to your doctor, see if you're a candidate, and if you are, it might work for you. There are many programs across the country, and they go by the names of shared risk, shared IVF, guaranteed IVF, IVF guarantee, assurance, assured. I mean, you think about any such name, these are basically simple insurance policies, and they do give some stress relief. I don't want to poo-poo them all together, because I've had a number of couples who say, look, we know that if we get pregnant in that first cycle, we've lost money. Or if we get pregnant maybe even in the second cycle, maybe it's a break-even situation. But I don't want to worry. I want to pay that upfront fee and get pregnant. Some years ago, I had this high energy and somewhat infamous Central Florida attorney. He came in to me on that first visit, and after he ultimately got off of his cell phone, he said, look, I don't have time for you, I don't have time for this, but I have $100,000, just get my wife pregnant, doesn't matter what it takes. And I said, sir, that would be doing you a real disservice. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take that offer. He said, well, I'll find somebody else who will. Well, I had some rapport that developed with his wife, and so in actual fact, she elected to stay with us, and she did need IVF. It was a male factor. In other words, there were sperm problems. Long story short, she got pregnant in the first IVF cycle. And so they came in, they saw their baby's heart beating on ultrasound, they heard it, And he said, I guess I would have lost a whole bunch of money had you taken my offer, right? And I said, right. He said, well, I got another offer for you. You deliver this baby, I'll give you $50,000. And I said, sir, the last baby I delivered was in 1989. I don't think you'd want me delivering your baby. Probably a peach basket would deliver your baby better than I could. He said, you're right. I'll keep my $50,000. Good seeing you. And he got on his cell phone and he walked out of the clinic. So that's my story for today. I really appreciate the fact that you've given me that question, D. If that didn't quite answer it, write me back and I'll be happy to talk more about guaranteed IVF. See you next week. Thanks so much. Be sure to share this video with your friends and subscribe to catch all new episodes each week here on the Infertility Channel. Plus, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I love hearing from you. Comment below or tell me what you want to see on future episodes by sending me an email to comments@infertilitychannel.org. Until next week,